Hello. For this video, I found three different political figures in the community, and I found them in different areas, and I thought that'd be best to find a little bit more variety to it instead of just in the one area. For Ann Arbor, I found Jacqueline Bedre, and she's the city clerk. She's responsible for keeping a public record of all proceedings for the council, such as certifications of all laws and resolutions. Their mission is basically to make sure all citizens are informed as possible with having open meetings and accurate recordings. In Livonia, I found Dennis Wright, and he's the treasurer. He's responsible for any collections, disbursements of all revenues that are belonging to the city. All the money that comes in is transmitted to Dennis, and that gets verified, deposited into the city's financial records. He deals with all of the money, the financial records, the revenues, everything the city earns. The third person is quite interesting. My boyfriend's grandfather, Donald Fall. He is Kalamazoo's clerk and main supervisor for the city of Kalamazoo. He's on the board as a voting member, and he sets up all the voting machines and precincts and more involved with the voting aspect of everything. It was quite interesting to talk with him about issues he thought were important and to discuss, and it worked out quite well, and it was very interesting to talk to him, and I learned a lot from him. The role that I'll be playing is Dennis Wright. He's the treasurer. Like I said before, the main responsibility is to deal with money and revenue and kind of the financial oversight of everything for the city. Now, as the treasurer, I would make sure the money and funding would be dispersed carefully as possible, making sure the areas who needed funding would get that and get help. The areas who didn't really need it would still help, but not give them out as much. And I feel the majority of the money would be spent on local and main roads. Everyone deals with potholes every day. They're just awful and terrible to drive on, and they just cause accidents, whether you're dodging potholes or your car has a pothole. It can break, can really damage yourself and damage your car, and that's why I feel potholes and roads need to be looked at more carefully and fixed as soon as possible. And I read an article about 4 months ago. A father and a son died due to a pothole, if you can believe that. They were driving in Oakland county, and they hit a pothole and they crashed. So a local sheriff in the Oakland area investigated and believes that a pothole may have contributed to the accident. The pothole that was involved has been a constant problem for the residents in the area. And the road commissioner of Oakland County actually states in an interview that they're trying to patch up the holes as best as they can with the funds that they have. So just by that statement, you can tell that they don't have that much money. And they would love to help people and patch up the holes so drivers don't have to hit potholes all the time, but they don't have enough money. They can't. They want to, but they can't. So with that statement, I feel is just tells you they need more money. They have potholes in their area because they don't have enough money. But they would love to fix all the potholes, but they can't, unfortunately. With roads being so important, we need to spend money on roads. We can't have drivers get hurt all the time or possibly killed even. We just need to make sure roads are being taken carefully and make sure we have enough money and funding for roads, because those are a high priority on the list and they should always be taken first. According to the city of Livonia expenditures for the year of 2015, about $7 million was spent on both local and main roads. Cities need to have enough financial funding so they don't run out of the money, and should always have money in stock for certain situations that may come up, such as this. So if they have enough money in stock and an accident occurs, they can fix up the pothole, and then they don't have to worry about it the next day. Since my boyfriend's grandfather is a clerk and supervisor for Kalamazoo, I was able to speak with him about the funding. He states that funding is quite difficult to receive. They vote to the boards to raise money, and they did it for have funding for about 3 years for roads, which they did receive, and by doing that, it makes money more secure for them. They know for 3 years they'll be getting enough funding for the roads, so they won't have that many issues with potholes and accidents on the road. I do agree with that technique and to keep voting for more funding for roads. While also looking at that list, I noticed that almost $2 million was spent on golf courses in the area of Livonia, which I don't necessarily agree with. I don't know why they spent almost $2 million on golf courses. I'm not a golf course expert. I don't like golf, but I don't really understand the reason for that. Possibly to update the lawns and the equipment, but I don't think it should take $2 million to do that. I know it's a fun sport for some people, but I just don't really believe $2 million should be spent on golf courses. It's not that important as roads or police or firemen or other things in the area. I just don't agree with that, but I know that we can make things better. We can make roads better. We can make everything else in the city better by just carefully funding areas that need it and funding areas that might not need it. So I appreciate everyone watching this video, and I'm willing to take any criticism from anyone. So thank you.